Hi, I am Georgia Adams and I'm an incoming sophomore at Saratoga High School. My project is an LED tilt maze where you push buttons to make the maze move forward, backward, left, and right respectively to navigate the ball to the end of the maze. Along the way there are checkpoints that when the ball touches them, an LED strip around the outside will light up in a cool pattern. I chose this project because I really wanted to make a game, but I also wanted to try and incorporate an LED strip. So I kind of mashed two projects together that I ended up making something that I really would enjoy making. Okay, here, let me share my screen. Here's an example of how it works. So you push the buttons on the side to move it back and forth. And then that pink box in the middle, that is the end of the maze, so it lights up in a rainbow pattern. And then I didn't want to move the balls to the outside to have it go to the sensors, so I just touched it instead, but it works the same, so. Okay. How this works is I have 2 servo motors and 4 push buttons hooked up to my Arduino. Each servo rotates one axis that tilts the maze. For each time the program loops through and a button is held down, the servo will move 1 degree in that direction. Although after a certain number of degrees, the motors will stop moving in that direction to make sure that my maze doesn't break to over-rotating, which almost happened once or twice in the beginning. I've also attached a photoresistor to the end of the maze so that when the ball reaches the end, it will sense that there isn't any light coming through and the LEDs will start flashing. For this part, I actually used 2 microcontrollers, well, Arduinos, because of how unwilling the LED strip and the servos were to work together on the same one. It was going crazy, it was shaking, and the motors would stop working and all that. And I ended up having to try and use 2 different libraries instead of the ones that I was using, but those didn't work very well either, so in the end I just used 2. In addition, I also added 4 other sensors along the maze that have a tinfoil pad attached to the ground and another pad attached to the microcontroller pin. When these sensors are triggered, the LEDs will send a ring of 4 LED lights around the strip to mark a checkpoint in completing the maze. I think the most challenging part of this project for me was definitely troubleshooting why the servos and LEDs didn't work together. I tried so many things to try and fix it. Like, we thought originally it was the power supply, so we tried hooking it up to a battery pack, and that didn't work. And we tried using the libraries, and in the end, it took me almost a whole week to try and fix it. This was basically a project I made up by myself, although I think the modifications were probably the sensors that I put in, the tinfoil sensors, and the LED lights that flash different patterns when it gets to different points in the maze. So despite the many challenges along the way, I think overall I've learned so much, and I really, really enjoyed doing this. At the beginning, I had a bit of coding experience, but I'd never really done anything where I put my coding into something that actually would be like a physical project instead of just on the computer. So, thank you.